Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows. Today we are going over 11, because I couldn't decide on the best games for the Quest 2, but I will not be including games that are glaringly obvious, which would have appeared in every video since 2019. So I'm going to touch on more recent titles, but for those of you that may not be completely aware of the older games, I'll put them on screen now. So enough of the past, let's check out some great games to throw our money at. Let's get started. Nock, the first game on this list, a new one in fact, and I find this game so addictive. The easiest way to portray this game is Rocket League in VR. But instead of a car, you are a creature that has more wobble than fart bastard. You slide around an arena like an air hockey table with the ability to leap into the air with some hang time to pull an arrow back and hit that ball into the goal. It's easy to learn with some adjustment, but it's so hard to skill up and work out the nuance, but it has high reward. When you work as a team, you're like a well-oiled machine. Not this oily though. Steve, knock it out now, do it now! The game also only costs $10, which is around £8. It's an absolute steal and so worth it for an addictive, competitive experience to play with friends. Zenith. Although this game has seen a huge drop in its user base after the hype had passed, this game is an absolute triumph on the Quest system and I cannot take that away. As Thrill made a video, the title was spot on. This could be the last game you ever play. The title has a huge expansive world available to you where you can fly and soar from the tallest peak in a charming animated art style. And as far as I've experienced, the community is fantastic. It has a combat system that has special abilities that go beyond your standard slash and evade. It also has different classes to change up your playstyle, and you can do this mid-game as well if you just want to freshen things up. This game is an MMO, so it takes time to invest in it, but it's one of the best VR MMOs has to offer. And it's constantly being updated and worked upon, and recently has got tons of funding, I think around 35 million. It has huge potential and deserves a spot on this list for sure, especially if you're looking to see what VR has to offer. This is kind of unique. After the Fall, a multiplayer cooperative shooter, and you don't need any friends to play it, you can go solo in the few modes that this game has. The main part of the game revolves around harvest runs, which are these missions where you have to shoot your way through a map with your squad taking on hordes of snowbreed, ending on a big boss. You'll find rewards and collect harvest in which you can then upgrade and buy weaponry with. There is also a horde mode where you have a really small map and you can just try and last as long as you possibly can with your friends, hang out and just have a nice chat. But it also has the PvP mode where you can try and shoot some friends or some strangers in VR only, obviously. And this is a nice change of pace. It also recently got another update offering new maps, skins and weapons. It's now spring, winter has passed. It is after the fall. Resist. This game has slowly faded away, but it deserves to be brought back out into the light. This is an open world action adventure title. It looked stunning when I first put on the headset and you looked up at the city. It was so shiny and busy, I knew I was in for a good time. Good motto for life, I think that is. So you play a member of the Resistance, hence the name, trying to stop the techie oppressive overlords. Wait, is this...
Hey everyone.
The game is only $15 and it allows you to swing around an open world city with guns in VR. There is not much like this on the Oculus Quest, a story driven narrative with side missions and very fun, well fleshed out mechanics. It is hard to control though, it does take some practice, but it's so rewarding when you can swing at high speed through the city, fling yourself up to the top of a skyscraper and just pop a drone. This is not for the sickness prone though, I must add that, not in the slightest. You should probably skip this one. Blade and Sorcery. I can't deny I had lots of fun playing this game and it's had an amazing impact on VR and the community that's behind it. Blade and Sorcery on the Quest is nothing short of a miracle, as it's a battle simulator with some of the best combat physics around. So in it you'll fight in arenas with waves of enemies coming at you, and your task is just to have fun. Let out that demon you've been hiding and find a healthy way to be violent. Cutting off limbs, throwing people off ledges, going raw and giving a knuckle sandwich to the hungry guy at the back. The game also supports modifications, so you can enjoy amazing content made by the community, such as bringing lightsabers into the game, adding new different special abilities, map adjustments, and more. And that is where a lot of the fun lies, in the mods. Gun Raiders. I can't put out one of these lists without chucking in a free game, which is a lie. I could totally do that, but I won't. Not everyone has money, and we have a game here that I'm surprised doesn't get spoken about too often, actually. It's one of the funnest first-person competitive shooters I've ever played, with some game mechanics that change its pace entirely to other shooters, such as you can climb up walls and climb across ceilings. You have a jetpack to glide across an area of a map and evade attack. You are also able to change your weapon at any point in the game. Your loadout is everything, so you can go from a shotgun in a close combat room and swap it out for a sniper to get a headshot across the map, and then to a katana to slice someone down who sees that you're distracted. Depending on what the situation needs, it's available, and because you can keep swapping between these different styles of play on the fly, it becomes very engaging, very fast paced. 100% get this title. You kind of already own it since it's free. You need to just click download and enjoy. Demeo, this is VR Game of the Year of 2021. It's a title that could put some people off because it has that fantasy vibe. People go, George R.R. Martin style, not for me. But the game is fantastic because it elicits cooperative play with friends in a very interesting way, because it's turn-based and cooperative against a common enemy, which is very, very hard, I might add. You have to talk about your approach and have debate and discussion with your teammates, which makes it really engaging, such a great experience. Or it just has three of you laughing at one of your friends. What are you doing that for, Steve? That's what men do, I suppose. Our abuse is endearment. However, though, word of warning, games can go on and on for hours. I think one game was nearing 4 hours the last time I played this, but it is brilliant. You just need the time. The Climb 2. A different style of play now is The Climb 2, a game where, at least for myself, you get out what you put in. This is a climbing game where you need to ascend to the peak of a map, with settings that are stunning. Even on the Quest hardware, it looks brilliant with a large variety of locations like exotic beaches, caves, and cities. The fun of the game didn't come from the simple climbing and exploring though. The rush of the game for myself came from the racing, the race to the top, the time trials, because it became more like parkour, leaping on ledges, taking risks. You get in that sense of flow and it became addictive, and the additional modes as well are just as good as the main game, where they add things like trials, climbing to a musical beat, ledges disappearing and reappearing. If you're afraid of heights, you should definitely play this game, but don't fall, it will make it even more thrilling. Contractors, a realistic first-person shooter, and I say realistic as far as it has manual mechanics, such as the reloading is manual, and it's different for each of the weapons, knocking out the clip, replacing it with a new one, and cocking that gun, pulling pins out and throwing grenades. This is a beautiful looking shooter on the Quest. It's really crisp and supports custom maps, so you can play on classic maps like Call of Duty Terminal, which I really love. It puts a smile on my face and gives me such nostalgia, or even Halo maps as well. It's very fast paced and so much fun. It not only has multiplayer competitive modes though, but also cooperative objective experiences for a change of pace. So if you want a realistic shooter and you're kind of tired of Pavlov, because that is a free option, Contractors is definitely one to have. Vox. This is a mechbot title recently released, and I am so glad we got it. This game is beautiful inside that cockpit. This is a PC VR title port, but the game came with a campaign mode, as it was initially a multiplayer experience only. So now you get a story-driven narrative to learn the controls before going online and playing with some friends. The game is some of the best character animation I've seen on NPCs. Like, oh yeah, great teeth guy. But when you're in a mech bot, it manages to make you feel the weight. And it changes depending on what bot you've got as well, because some are more agile than others. And the controls are also what you'd expect from a huge, clunky mechanical bot, not some highly advanced ice skating figure skater mech bot. It feels big and clunky. It's a mech experience and a really fantastic one. I really enjoyed this title. You can just sit back and escape the real world and enjoy a more stressful one. Until You Fall, one of my favourite VR games of all time. This game is such a workout, and it really puts you in that sense of flow. It makes the game very addictive, and you just forget about your troubles. You've got troubles, Steve. Another time, guys. Not now. We've got games here. This is a roguelite title, so you will go through areas taking on different enemies, and that increases in difficulty as you progress. And you have to approach them and dodge them, but when you're prompted, you have to block certain areas, move out of the way in certain areas, and then attack when you can. You have to stay on your toes and watch out for those cues, otherwise you will die. You can then unlock special abilities and bigger weapons, and the game's use of colour is fantastic. This got voted one of the most beautiful games of the year a couple years back. It's stunning. Can't go wrong with this game. It's great price, great visuals, really engaging, gets the blood pumping. It's a feast for the eyes. So I'm going to stop there. It's been 11 games, plus the classic list. It's a great bundle of games to try out, and there's even a free one. More and more games are expected to drop, but we are currently in a little drought right now, so this should tie you over until we get something else. We often forget the amazing library that already exists as enthusiasts. We always want the next big thing. What's next? What's the next thing? But it's been really nice to reflect. There are actually tons of really great games, and we should look back and try and play some again. So I hope something here has piqued your interest, and you'll click subscribe as well. And hopefully I will see you next time. Have a great week, guys. Happy gaming. Good day.